Boom. Alright, what's going on, you guys? It's Royce Jacob. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome to the last public episode of Sunday Stock Watch. I'll explain that more in a little bit. This is simply a series where I let you guys know what stocks I'm personally keeping an eye on going into the trading week. Today, we are going to be focusing on two sectors, the first of which is going to be Bitcoin-related stocks, more specifically, Bitcoin miners, even more specifically, two names that we know and love oh so well here on the channel, considering Bitcoin is seeing some beautiful price action on this fine Sunday afternoon, up almost 10% at the time of recording. You absolutely love to see it, which is obviously very, very bullish for Bitcoin mining stocks. On top of a short piece of news that we're going to cover as well, that's also very bullish for Bitcoin miners. So I'm very excited to see how some of these names play out over the course of the week. The second sector we're going to be covering is small cap EV/green energy stocks, considering that's probably the single sector in the entire market that I'm the most bullish on at this moment. So I'm always going to be keeping an eye on those for the foreseeable future. Excited to dive into some of these names. As always, we'll quickly go over each topic we're going to be discussing today, and then we'll dive into each one individually. In front of us, Trading View, where we'll talk technicals, price action, and price targets on the following names today. In this order, going down the watch list, you can see here on the right, kicking it off, of course, with the king. Because we are going to be moving on to Bitcoin mining stocks, I do want to talk Bitcoin because ultimately the price direction, the price action of Bitcoin itself is ultimately going to dictate, at least to some extent, to a pretty strong extent, especially going into a new trading week, the price action of Bitcoin miners, like you guys know what's coming, RIOT Blockchain and Marathon Patent Group. So you guys, I know there's a lot of great mining stocks out there, Bitcoin mining stocks that is, but RIOT and Mara, good friends of the Waves family, so we got to cover them, and I'm very excited to talk to you guys about where I see these two playing out over the course of this week in terms of what I foresee to be I'd be very surprised if it's not upside price action, okay? So, RIOT and Mara, we will then once again move on to those small cap EV green energy stocks. First off is going to be Workhorse. Workhorse looking very, very promising on the charts. HYLN looking very promising on the charts, on top of being probably my single favorite fundamental play in the entire EV green energy space right now. And then we'll close it out with Churchill Capital's CCIV, because it's been a few days since I've covered them, and right now CCIV looks very, very promising on the charts. I'm thinking some two-wave theory here on this one, okay? So those are the names we're going to be covering today. In terms of fundamentals, in terms of news, we only have this one short article to cover that, once again, very, very bullish for crypto Bitcoin miners. Musk says Tesla will accept Bitcoin again as crypto miners use more clean energy. Obviously, you guys, this is huge. Elon Musk's words hold a lot of weight, especially in the crypto markets, in the public markets. This is kind of the perfect storm, in my opinion, on top of, once again, Bitcoin looking so strong today as we enter the trading week, for plays like RIOT and Mara and all Bitcoin miners. Every Bitcoin miner that's publicly traded in the markets, even not any Bitcoin miner out there, very, very bullish news and very promising for the sector as a whole, for crypto as a whole, okay? So that's very bullish as well. And again, aside from this, you guys, it's just going to be strictly price action, strictly technicals, spending some time on the charts. But before that, I do have to elaborate a little bit on what I said in the beginning, considering this is going to be the last public Sunday Stock Watch. That said, by no means will this be the last Sunday Stock Watch I record, actually on the contrary. But from now on, every time I record a Sunday Stock Watch video, I will be listing it as an unlisted video on YouTube. So it will still be up on YouTube, but it will be unlisted, and I will be sending out the private link to view the video to the newsletter, okay? So the portfolio and newsletter family is going to be getting the Sunday Stock Watch exclusively. I will be hopping into the comments. It's a good place to interact without kind of all the stupid scammers and bots that are out there pretending to be me in the comments. So I do always, you guys, I've always worked my whole YouTube career, I've worked on balancing giving you guys as much free content as I possibly can. And again, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you watching here, but I do have to do everything I can for the True Waves fam, the people involved, the family members involved with the portfolio newsletter group, with the Discord, and I do feel like this is just a good addition to the portfolio and newsletter, kind of just everything going on in there, okay? So please let me know down below if you guys are involved, if you guys are stoked on this. Honestly, all week I've been excited about dropping this news, and I hope you guys appreciate it, because that's really what I'm here to do, okay? So obviously, if you guys do want to join the portfolio newsletter, first link down below, $15 a month. You guys know the drill. And obviously the Sunday Stock Watch is only the cherry on top at this point, but the portfolio newsletter is as it states right here, a complete breakdown of my entire portfolio that I do update every single trading day during market hours, all call options, put options, stock positions, cryptocurrency positions, literally everything, probably about 50 to 60 positions at any given time. And I do update that every single trading day during market hours, rationalizing my thoughts, explaining to you guys why I'm doing what I'm doing with the newsletter after I update this every single trading day. Okay, so once again, $15 a month, first link down in the description. Please let me know if you guys appreciate the exclusive Sunday Stock Watch from here on out. But of course, you guys, if you're not part of this, that's okay. If you're just watching the YouTube videos, that's okay, because I'm still going to be posting videos from Monday to Thursday on the channel. And again, Friday to Sunday is now going to be for the Waves fam, for the real Waves fam. You guys are all the Waves fam, but for the level 2, level 3 Waves fam. All right, so that said, also, before we do dive in, I will ask you guys, as always, to please give the video a like if you do go on to gain value from it today, or if you are bullish on any of the names we're covering or trading them. You don't have to be bullish. If you're just trading them, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, want to catch more content like this, want to follow the journey of many of the stocks we're talking about today, plus many more, okay? There's a lot of other stocks in both these sectors that I'm excited about, that I'm trading myself. So, again, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Want to join the journey, okay? Kicking it off with Bitcoin. You know what? We'll kick it off. You know what? We'll look at Bitcoin. We'll go into the CNBC article after that, and then we'll cover RIOT and MAR and just go down the line here and just talk straight technicals, okay? So, Bitcoin. First things first, get rid of this guy because that's just aesthetic. Bitcoin. We'll start with this. So, the reason Bitcoin just broke out is because, in my opinion, the reason we're always on 4-hour charts, you guys, or 4-hour candles on the charts, is because that's really what signals to me personally what I found the most effective for signaling an actual reversal of trend. So since this touch point right here on May 26th, Bitcoin has been in a solid downtrend. Obviously, Bitcoin's been in a downtrend for the better part of a couple of months now since its high at around $65,000. But short to medium term downtrend, kicking it off on May 26th. Touch point here again, just a series of lower highs and lower lows on this downtrend with this line of resistance right here. Just today, earlier today, probably like 5 or 6 hours ago at this point, Bitcoin did break above this downtrend and actually closed the 4-hour above this. So you can see here on June 10th, we did have a couple of fake outs, broke above, closed the 4-hour, broke above again, did not close the 4-hour above that line of resistance, which again, you guys, is just another, even right here, broke above it just, I mean, I guess that's set the touch point, so never mind. But right here, again, you guys, that's why I really like using 4-hour candles, is because it's very telling. You'll see this in a lot of charts you look at. You want to look for at least that 4-hour closure, ideally a daily closure, but a 4-hour closure will do it. And in this case, it would be extremely surprising if Bitcoin did not close the day above this trend line, which it most definitely will. Okay, so that signals a short-term technical reversal. Bitcoin is now in a short-term uptrend. Bitcoin is now in a short-term breakout, which is very good. But that said, getting rid of this, you can see that Bitcoin is also pretty much executed a short-term head and shoulders, kicking it off at the beginning of June. So head and shoulders, obviously, you guys, inverse head and shoulders. So because it's inverse, I guess, right shoulder, head, left shoulder, you guys know, but like left, right, head, or left shoulder, right shoulder, head, inverse, whatever. But shoulder, head, shoulder, and we did perfectly kind of resolve that. Exactly. You can see Bitcoin topping out and really selling off right as it closed out, right as it completed this head and shoulders pattern, I should say. Okay, so head and shoulders did kick it off around 39.4, came down, created that shoulder, came down, created that head once again. It's kind of, sorry guys, I'm fumbling over this because it's kind of hard to talk in like mirrored. But anyway, you guys know what I'm saying. Again, shoulder, head, shoulder, perfectly resolved this inverse head and shoulders pattern, which gives me reason to believe that Bitcoin at the very least will set probably a higher low if we do continue this uptrend, okay? So Bitcoin, if you're talking like right here from the head, high, low, higher high, probably going to come down here back to like the 37.5 region if I was a betting man, which I am. I do think Bitcoin will probably come down to the 37.4, 37.5 region once again, set a higher low on the short-term uptrend following that reversal, following that breakout, and hopefully there's more upside from here. Obviously, over the course of the week, we will cover this more, but just to sum this up now, we're not going to go long-term, you guys. I do have to see Bitcoin close above $41,000. This has been the top side, this top level. So this area right here that it touched at the end of May has not seen that since. I will need to see a closure above, just conservatively, $41,000 for me to actually flip bullish. At this point in time, we did just play out, again, this short-term inverse head and shoulders. We are seeing a short-term breakout. But for me to flip medium to long-term bullish once again and think we are back in action, we're reigniting this longer-term cycle, I do need to see a closure in Bitcoin above $41,000, at least personally, you guys. Always remember, this is just my opinion, okay? So that said, before we move on to Bitcoin miners, let's take a look at this article. Musk's words hold weight, you guys know that. Key points: Tesla CEO Elon Musk on Sunday said the company will resume Bitcoin transactions once it confirms there is reasonable clean energy usage by miners. And I quote, "When there's confirmation of reasonable clean energy usage by miners with positive future trend, Tesla will resume allowing Bitcoin transactions," Musk wrote in a tweet. Last point, the electric car maker halted car purchases with Bitcoin in mid-May due to concerns over how mining contributes to climate change. So obviously that definitely took a toll on Bitcoin and Bitcoin miners when Musk announced that. But right now, this is very bullish that Bitcoin, again, Elon, over the past month, if you guys have been following along with kind of the progression of Elon's thoughts around Bitcoin miners, Elon is stepping in here because he's obviously a big proponent of Bitcoin. He's a big Bitcoin fanboy. He's a crypto fanboy. He's obviously the king of crypto, and he does want this to succeed. But again, as a founder, as a creator of Tesla, it is kind of knowing that Bitcoin mining in its current state, at least for the most part, is not the most eco-friendly practice. It is a little hypocritical for Elon to be on both sides. So he has been taking steps, at least allegedly, to help miners in creating more eco-friendly, more green-friendly practices in their Bitcoin mining, which will inevitably happen as we move into the future, as green energy becomes more and more abundant and more well understood. So this will happen. Again, Elon taking the right steps. After I read this, after you guys listen to this, if you guys just read this for the first time with me, it's pretty evident that Elon is not just allowing Bitcoin transactions once again. It does have Bitcoin mining has to meet this criteria prior to that. So I'm not sure. By the sound of this, I know the headline says Tesla is allowing transactions in Bitcoin once again, but it doesn't sound, by his quote, like they're allowing yet. It sounds like they're setting a bar. Once this bar is hit, then Tesla will once again allow Bitcoin. So be careful for the headlines, because right now it seems like this is a step in the right direction, but it's not actually Tesla allowing Bitcoin, which even that in itself isn't huge. It's all optics, you guys. You know it's all optics, okay? So again, regardless, great news. Bitcoin popping off. I'm not sure if that is the fundamental news that catalyzes this move up in Bitcoin. It might have been, very well might have been, but still, from a technical perspective, it isn't a breakout. And both technically and fundamentally, Bitcoin and RIOT and Mara are very bullish. So let's take a look at RIOT, talk short-term price targets to the upside. It's very likely to me, if you guys watched last week's crypto combo where I covered RIOT and Mara, I think it's pretty likely that RIOT could honestly pop up to like $40, okay? So the reason for that is because this is the intersection on June 16th of two very, very strong trend lines, one of which is RIOT's overall line of resistance, which I've been waiting for RIOT to hit since pretty much over here. I thought over in this area in like early May, so forever ago, I thought RIOT was going to come up here and test this area right here. That sucked in the portfolio, obviously. But I do think that finally RIOT will come up to test that overall line of resistance on the downtrend, on this long-term downtrend from RIOT's high way back in February of 2017. You guys let me know in the comments down below if you were there for the February RIOT rally. We were causing a riot. Let me know in the comments down below. Throw some like fire banger emojis or something down there, because that was a great time. Times are going to get good again, you guys. That's just part of the game. That's cycles. But in terms of short-term price action, again, this line of resistance on the overall downtrend does intersect with the overall line of support, very strong line of support on the overall uptrend, which once was broken in early May, did lead me to believe that RIOT was probably going to revert to the mean at some point, which means revisit its initial high. So do I still think that's possible? I do. But do I think that we could see some short-term upside prior to that? Maybe by June 16th, once again, just by the end of this week, would come to a perfect intersection of these two trend lines. Of course, you guys, maybe it happens before that. Maybe it happens a little after that. But considering Bitcoin's up 10%, I wouldn't be surprised to see RIOT up like 15-20% tomorrow, and maybe even see a greater rally moving forward, okay? That said, obviously, granted, Bitcoin continues to perform. If Bitcoin does break 41K, makes its way to 50K, obviously RIOT would come up to at least, I would say, 40, like roughly $40, okay? So again, you guys, always go into the charts for yourself. Always keep an eye on these trend lines for yourself. Always watch Bitcoin if you are trading Bitcoin miners. You guys know the drill there, okay? So that is RIOT. Let's move on to Mara. So Marathon Digital, good old Marathon Patent Group. Mara coming very, very close to my initial price target, an area that has acted as a very, very historical ceiling and floor for Mara. Mara, Similar to Riot, you guys, both seeing somewhat of a capitulation, similar to Bitcoin, just a lot of sideways price action, a lot of volatility, but overall sideways movement. And Mara is coming very close to an area that is kind of playing out as like a head and shoulders for Mara. So in a weird way, which is another reason that I really think it's likely that Mara does revert to the mean. Honestly, similar to Riot, you guys. Again, short term, maybe we see some exciting price action. I would love if Bitcoin break out. Maybe we see Mara and Riot like break out once again. That's very, very possible. But just from all the bubbles I played, you guys, again. If you guys don't know, I say this all the time, and I feel like it gets annoying, but I say it because it's real. The majority of the money I've made in my entire life over the course of my career, like the big lump sum payments, the main contributors to my net worth over the course of my career have been playing bubbles, have been playing FOMO rallies like this, like Riot Mara. And most of the time, almost all the time from what I've seen, every time the overall line of support is broken on the overall uptrend, again, almost every time, you have to revert to the mean or revisit the initial high of the rally, which for Mara is $14, which for Riot is about $15 to $16, okay? So, can we see another rip up? Maybe, but again, because I kind of see this head and shoulders playing out right here, I don't know if you guys can see this, but again, like shoulder, big, massive head, shoulder once again. Again, Mara is seeing some resistance around here. It's already proving it. If Mara can significantly break this area right here, around like $28, so just conservatively, if Mara can break $30, that would flip me bullish, okay? That would rule out this kind of massive, funky, long-term head and shoulders pattern, in my opinion. And then best case scenario is that Mara could come up to revisit this line that acted, the overall line of support, proved itself to act as resistance in late April, early May. If that happens, Mara could see by mid-June, or by late June, we'll just go July 1st here, Mara could see $50+. Do I think that's likely? Only if Bitcoin continues to rip. So obviously, you guys, we have to follow the course of Bitcoin. We have to follow the trajectory of Bitcoin because, as I said in the beginning, as you guys all know, the price action of Bitcoin will heavily, heavily dictate that of plays like Riot and Mara. And of course, the general equity markets, it's not only Bitcoin. Riot and Mara is kind of a combination of like the NASDAQ, like the tech heavy sector of the equity markets, the risk on high growth areas of the equity markets, like the S&P, the NASDAQ, and Bitcoin on top of news, okay? So there's a lot of factors that come into play when you're playing plays like Riot and Mara. Many of you guys know these because we've followed them forever here on the channel. But that said, it will be exciting to see how the rest of this week, or how the entirety of this week, I should say, plays out for Riot Mara, and all the Bitcoin mining plays. So whatever you're playing in the Bitcoin mining realm of the equity markets, just get stoked, okay? So that is that. Let's move on to the EV plays. Kicking it off with Workhorse. So Workhorse is currently in kind of a little short-term bull flag right here. Not much to say here. I did cover this, I believe, on Thursday or Friday. No, I'm sorry, Friday's for the fam. So Thursday's video, I believe I covered Workhorse. Workhorse, again, you're seeing great volume. This is technically a meme stock in the process of an attempted and what I assume is going to be a successful short squeeze by the Reddit army, by the machine that is the Reddit crowd. There's power in numbers, you guys, and that's something that cannot be discounted, and something that I continually have to remind myself as I'm kind of a boomer. Like I'm only 26 years old, but I'm kind of a boomer when it comes to like the Reddit stuff. I've always been very anti that sector of the market, but I'm very pro-democratic. I love that so many individuals are finding financial freedom through these methods. But again, kind of the TED Talk, the spiel aside, technically, Workhorse is in a short-term bull flag, parabolic move up, followed by descending triangle. Another example, again, you guys, of 4-hour candles, broken above, closed below it. So I do still feel like this line, this trend line right here that I've drawn will act as resistance. So if Workhorse can break above this, that would flip me bullish. If Workhorse breaks above $17, that makes me very, very bullish, because that means we're probably just on our way to a higher high. So aside from the bull flag, you guys, I'm sorry, it's kind of this line's covering, kind of covering it up. High, low, higher low. Maybe we just see a reversal breakout, maybe on our way to $20. That would not surprise me at all. But it would also not surprise me if we come down here maybe to like 13.50, 14 bucks, come back up, test this line of resistance prior to breaking out maybe by the end of this week. So if we do see some short-term downside in Workhorse, I'm not going to be worried, because I do still see this bull flag playing out. But if we do break out tomorrow, set a higher high just on the overall uptrend on the short-term parabolic, or not, I guess it is kind of parabolic. It's a very sporadic short-term uptrend. That I would not be surprised at all if we see $20. And again, this video, the Sunday Stock Watch, is going to be focused more on like week out time horizons, not really going long term here. So again, keep an eye on Workhorse if you're trading it. Let's move on to HYLN. Again, HYLN probably my single favorite play in the entire EV green energy sector from a fundamental perspective. And HYLN also only has a $2.2 billion market cap, which is very, very small. And of course, you guys, the smaller the market cap is, the less capital inflow it takes to appreciate the share price, okay? So if HYLN pops, like we've seen it do before, if enough eyes get on HYLN, if we do see a lot of attention around the green energy sector, and HYLN is a very, very appealing play in that sector, HYLN is a play that can easily pop, similar to Workhorse. I believe Workhorse has like a, let's go to Workhorse's market cap right now. So 1.9 billion, virtually the same size company, at least via market cap. So Workhorse and HYLN, very, very promising. HYLN right now is on the lower end of a beautiful, beautiful ascending channel, and I do think it's very likely that HYLN at the very least comes up to about $14 by the end of this week, okay? So very, very clean ascending channel, just a series of beautiful higher highs and higher lows, and I do think it's likely that HYLN will come up to test the top side of this channel while also breaking by the end of this week. If HYLN can break $14.20, that's going to be very, very, very bullish, because that would mean HYLN is broken out of a very strong line of resistance on the overall downtrend, very long-term downtrend. So way back in November is when this massive, massive overall downtrend started. Very strong line of resistance right here, okay? So touch point here, crashed. Boom, popped up, touch point here, crashed. I do think it's likely, especially with how organically HYLN is growing right now. Again, this beautiful, like textbook ascending channel. We're seeing volume come back in. Just what's catching my eye right now is this 4-hour Stokes about to, the good old blue curling over red. You love to see that. And I think it's very likely that HYLN, while simultaneously, I should say, testing the top side of this ascending channel, will break this very, very significant line of resistance on this long-term overall downtrend, which would signal a very, very bullish short-term breakout. And again, HYLN releasing great news. They're scaling their operations. Covered that piece of news in last week's video. If you want to catch up on that, just Google HYLN news, and it's probably going to be the most recent one. But very bullish, both fundamentally and technically. I'm so pumped to see what HYLN can do over the short, medium, and long term, if I'm being completely honest. Okay, so keep an eye on these levels. Keep an eye on like the 1420 to 1450 level. Conservatively, if HYLN breaks $15, that's like we're off to the races in my opinion, okay? So that's HYLN. Let's close it out with CCIV and call it a day, all right? So CCIV, Churchill Capital Corp 4, is looking good right now. So obviously right here, you guys see what I see. This is a textbook bull flag. I drew this earlier, but I guess it did not sync. Sorry about that. We'll just draw in quick. Always got to make the bull flags green because they are bullish. Okay, or I make them blue, I guess, but blue, green, kind of same thing. They're both bullish colors in my mind. Okay, so obviously bull flag right here. Short-term, come on. Short-term bull flag right there. Parabolic move up followed by descending triangle. Baseline at the bottom. Strong trend down in the short term. But I do think it's like this will happen tomorrow if this resolved. So again, we're seeing a lot of volume. The beauty of what I like, this is what I love to see, you guys, is this volume right here. Following like months of no volume, this spike in volume, you're seeing attention back to the stock. This is what needs to happen in many of these plays like ALYI as well. You just need to see volume. You just need to see fundamental excitement build around the sector and the stock, which again, I did cover ALYI in last week's newsletter. I will cover ALYI in the newsletter because I know a lot of you guys want that. But again, just volume. You want to see volume. That applies not only for this stock, this sector, but for every sector. If you do see a dry spell, if you see low volume, once you see volume start to come back, that is when I flip bullish and really believe we could be in the midst of a long-term reversal of trend, of, again, correction. We've seen a crazy correction here. So CCIV, Churchill Capital, has seen a staggering correction. So about a 74% correction from its high back in February of 2021, just February of this year. Few months back, Churchill Capital was at a high of about $65, now sitting at $25 following that 74% correction. Now bouncing back, printing a short-term bull flag, broke above this level right here, which acted since over the course of like late March to up until just like a week or so ago. Very, very strong ceiling for CCIV around $24. Now broke above that short-term bull flag following a breakout of that strong ceiling. Makes me very, very bullish. I think it's very likely that we could at least come to just an area that comes out right now. Again, you guys, when you're kind of in this parabolic mode, when you're in breakout mode, just look for historical areas of support and resistance. So the first thing that comes out to me is right here. which is just this level again. Like you can see spent a lot of time over here during that way up, on its way up in February on that parabolic rise, came down, bounced up, used that as a ceiling, came down, way down, bounced up again, used it as a ceiling once again. So I do think that if we do break out of this bull flag, we could see a run up here. Let's move this price target. So I'm sorry, this price range. So from current levels to CCIV's high at about $65 once again. From here is a roughly 160% gain, which is very, very exciting. But to my short-term price target, I'll say, is going to be about a 30% gain. So very, very exciting potential here if we do see CCIV break out of this bull flag and use that ceiling that I just talked about as the next short-term price target. So maybe we see a 30% appreciation in CCIV over the coming week or so. Very, very exciting, especially if you have the proper calls in place, which I do. So closing it out, you guys, I appreciate it if you've watched all the Sunday stock watches up until this point. If you've watched the video up until even this video up until this point, if you're an absolute G, like you're a real one if you guys are the ones who watch the videos up until the end. I know there's got to be a couple of you out there, so shout out to you guys. Shout out to you guys for like riding with me, for watching the Sunday stock watches. And again, I love making YouTube videos. I love making free content. It's how I built my entire platform, how I built my entire business, everything that I have right now. But again, I'm always trying to evolve the business. And again, just I really want to just kind of at this point, I'm not really focusing, like I'm not making the poppy, I'm not trying to make the crazy hype stock videos. I'm really just, I want to talk about what I want to talk about and what you guys want to talk about. And again, just prioritize the videos that I make and the content that I create around that kind of tight-knit community. Thankfully large, like somewhat large. Like for me, it's still crazy to me how the community we built and how strong it is and how solid it is. But I do just want to prioritize the majority of the content I make around you guys and just focus on kind of the family, the absolute unit that is the Waves fam. Okay, so I appreciate you guys watching. Please let me know in the comments down below which of these plays you're the most excited about going into this trading week. And until next time, I will see you guys next Sunday if you're part of the newsletter and portfolio, of course, okay? So, regardless, I will see you guys. If you're not, it's all good. Once again, I'll see you guys tomorrow and throughout the trading week, all right? Until then, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.